Okay, this is your homework for Unit 4, Lesson number 5. Number 2, it's asking why are these two triangles congruent? Okay, looking at these triangles, it looks like we have an angle and a side that is congruent. Sorry, we need to move ahead a little bit. But we also have these two angles in the middle that are congruent, and those are vertical angles. So, based on that, we have angle, angle, side. The next part of the question asks, according to CP/CTC, are corresponding parts of corresponding triangles are congruent. Which other parts are congruent? So, according to CP/CTC, we also know that angle A goes with angle E. Okay, A goes with E. We also know AC is congruent to DE. And we know that CB is congruent to DB. And now we've marked 6 parts, so we have all the parts of the triangle marked, and now we know all the parts are congruent. Okay, on to the next question. Okay, number 7 is asking you to prove that segment AB is congruent to CB. So I have arrows pointing at AB and CB. Prove they're congruent. The way we prove they're congruent is we need to prove these two triangles are congruent. Looking at these triangles, we have an angle right there, and we have an angle down here. So we don't have enough information yet, but using the reflexive property, we should be able to tell that BD is congruent to BD using the reflexive property. So based on that, we have side, oops, I have to erase that. We have angle, side, angle. And angle, side, angle proves that triangle ABD is congruent to, now if we start with A, just right there, we need to start with the other angle that doesn't have any marks on it, which would be angle C. So we'd say C, and then we'd go this way towards B, because that's one with one mark, and then down the bottom, CBD. Or, yeah, CBD. One sec. So, because we put those in order, then we know that AB goes with CB. It's the first and second, and the first and second. Therefore, segment AB is congruent to segment CB, according to CP/CTC. Alright, number 14 is a proof. It starts out with saying QPS is congruent to angle RSP. If you look up above to the given statement, you can see that it tells you QPS is congruent to RSP. So A would be given. B, angle Q is congruent to angle R, is also given. So then we're on to C. C says that PS is congruent to PS. That would be right here. PS is congruent to PS. And those would be congruent based on the reflexive property. So based on the reflexive property, D says that these two triangles are now congruent. Triangle PQS is congruent to triangle SRP, and that would be according to, sorry, I'm adjusting my picture, angle, side. So if we go in order, it's angle, angle, side. And then E says that PQ is congruent to SR. PQ is congruent to SR. And the reason for that would be CP/CTC. Corresponding parts of corresponding triangles are congruent. Alright, number 18 is kind of a real life problem where you have this hole in the ground. You probably don't want to measure across the hole in the ground or you will fall into the hole in the ground. So some scientists decide to do this crisscross pattern where they measure back. They measure back 40 feet plus another 40 feet, and then they start at the other end and measure back 30 feet and another 30 feet. And man, I would love to say that the size of the hole then is 26.5, but I can't just jump to that yet. Can't jump to it yet because I got to know, are these triangles congruent? So, looking up here, I have a side and I have a side. I can't use this side yet because I don't know that it's congruent to the other triangle. So on the other triangle I have a side and a side, but I don't have any other information. But this angle here and this angle here are vertical angles. So according to side angle side, these two triangles are congruent. And if these two triangles are congruent, then CPC/TC, or corresponding parts of corresponding triangles are congruent, would tell you that that far side is 26.5, so they could safely measure the distance across the hole. That's it for Unit 4, Lesson number 5, homework problems. See you next time.